Welcome back, crypto traders. Today is 8/28/2017. We just got off of the weekend. Hopefully a lot of you watched Game of Thrones and liked the season finale. Today we're going to look at our open positions, look at our orders sitting in the market waiting to get filled if certain price action happens, and we're going to set a few more stop limit orders if any of these coins can break into new highs. To review, we've invested to date $1,014.90. The plan is to slowly add capital to this and show our YouTube followers how you can start off with even a tiny account size and grow it. Our profit to date is $976. Our return on investment is 78%. Our portfolio value is $1,811 in US dollars, and then the breakdown per coin, we're holding $1,571 US dollars, 0 Bitcoins, 748.50 Ripple coins, 0.34 Dash coins, 0.25 Bitcoin cashes, and I didn't even put in still, I promised today, I'll put in the Bitcoin cash we got from the fork. Okay, so that's our holdings. You can see in the green our closed positions. So far we've closed a 63% profit on Bitcoin, which generated the bulk of our profit. But then we had a $138 profit with only 10% of our portfolio at that time. On Ripple, we sold Ripple at a very high price and bought back in. As you can see right here, currently this Ripple position's down 17%, and we have a limit order to double down if it can get below 19, so we're about 1 cent away from that. Our Bitcoin cash position is flat, and our Dash position is currently up 56%, so we'll look at whether or not we want to sell that today. And then on the 24th and the 25th, we did some trade alerts where we put in a bunch of limit orders. And in the bottom of this video, I'll repeat all of our limit orders. Now, most of these don't actually have to be stop limits. They can just be plain limit orders. You can skip this step. This won't hurt it if you do it this way, but normally the stop limit is if you want to buy when the price goes up and only if it goes up. If we go to our Poloniex trade history, we can see that nothing got filled over the weekend. We're still sitting on the exact same positions, so that's why we don't have any changes to our track record right now. Now, if we look at the volume, the last 24 hours has been pretty light. At the peak of volume last week, we were seeing 3 billion trade into Bitcoin, 2 billion into Ripple, and then Ethereum was far lower. But today our leaders are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and then Bitcoin Cash. Monero's done very well recently, and so has Ripple, although Ripple's fighting a low price support resistance level, and we're hoping that will bounce up from here. And then after that, we have Ethereum Classic, Lisk, which I don't know a lot about, Dash, which we have a position on, H-Share, Neo, and then Zcash. Zcash I know a good deal about just because it's one of the popular mining currencies. It's usually trading 20 million a day, so it's up to 34. Of course, when it really spikes, it can hit the billion per day trading volume. Now, is this all legitimate trading volume, or is there a lot of bots just selling coins back and forth between each other to create liquidity to manipulate the market? And I'm sure there's a lot of market manipulation happening. So these daily volumes could very well just be the same person trading between accounts trying to manipulate different currencies. And so right now this is very unregulated, and you're going to see a lot of volatility because there's no one to come in there and tell you, there's no CFTC governing the cryptocurrency world right now. So with that said, let's head over to Coinigy and check out our positions and look at what else we want to do today. Now, sometimes CoinAgain will make a thumping sound as I watch it, so if it does that, I apologize. We're working to figure out how to fix that tech glitch. Okay, so I'm going to start from the top of the list, which is Bitcoin Cash, BCH. You can see where we bought it here, and it's kind of flatlined, so what's going to happen from here? We're really at a tipping point. Will it drop to 500 at this next support resistance? Could it drop to 400? Or is this gearing up to consolidate and break into the $1,000 plus range? I believe that we could show some dangerous volatility here, but eventually this should go past 1,000. It's a very new coin. You can see it's only been out for 2 weeks, and those early adopters in here really saw huge benefits, tripling their money. So that's where Bitcoin Cash is at. We're so far away from the $1,000 mark that I'm not going to worry about putting a stop limit order in. Okay, Bitcoin. We sold here, watched it crash to here, and we're too conservative to invest into it at this price, and now it's back to these high levels. But we do have a stop limit at this one. So if this reaches 4,500, we will go in with 30% of our portfolio, expecting Bitcoin to have a sharp run up. So you can see, not always, but quite often after it breaks a recent high, we have these shoot straight up. That's not always the case. You know, right here it broke its high and then crashed, but it went up a little bit. So we're willing to risk, in my model portfolio, at least 30% portfolio position if it can break it to the 4,500 price. Now, of course, our stop loss will be very tight on that. So once it gets filled, we will put a limit order, a stop limit to sell that position if and only if it drops to a certain price. Otherwise, this could potentially break up another $500 to $1,000 and head towards 5,000 to 5,500 is what I would expect, and look for a opportunity to sell this position. Okay, so Dash is on this just massive run up. It's at a sell-off currently. We bought it here. We have opportunity to fill 3 more positions to greatly increase that position size if it does that. But it doesn't look like it's going to do that. This is a very bullish chart. Dash has a lot of popularity, is becoming a very useful coin where you can actually go spend it, not just some kind of coin that you can use in some sort of blockchain product that's replacing something, you know, back to the real concept of what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be money, and Dash could really turn into a currency that you can use. So for now I'm going to hold it, expecting this to probably have another run up and break into a new high. We're seeing run ups of about 3 to 5 blocks, so from this price we could stand to see it hit 440, 480 and really increase this profit considerably. If it hit 480, we'd have a 100% gain on this 10% position. Right now it's up 56%, and it's only 5% of our portfolio, so I'm willing to hold this one longer, and I'm really considering getting into a 10% position right here in the next few days. But let's see how long this sell-off happens. We may wait till it breaks 400 to kind of double down on that position. Okay, Ethereum Classic. Let's zoom out a little bit to a 12-hour chart. So right now it's nowhere near breaking this $21 price, and it's floating above this resistance line where we wanted to pick it up for cheap. So for now, nothing to do on that. Now Ethereum, we have our stop limit sitting up above. If it can break into the 400 price, we're going to get it at 402. It's going to crash down to this support resistance area 220 will pick up shares. So for now, there's no action to take on this. Litecoin, this puppy is just taking off, and if we had followed the strategy of buying it as it broke into a new high, we could have seen a 10% run up potentially from somewhere around here. Right now we are sitting back for a huge crash from 62 to 32. That's a 50% drop, and if it does that, we'll get filled. I'm going to add one limit order right here at 43 with a 10% position right now, so that we have the opportunity to have two fills into this. So I think right here on this, right in this area is a good area. So I'm going to go with 44 even. Okay, so a 10% position would be $180. And I want it for, let's just say 44 even. Okay, so if it reaches that price point, we should get filled, and I'll update that to our list of standing limit orders that we have sitting in the market. Okay, the next coin is NXT, and it's just kind of sitting in nowhere land. It's not cheap, it's not taking off, so we're not doing anything. If this were to crash to 7 cents, we have a 10% position ready to pick it up. And if we start to see this become bullish, I'd really want it to break probably to 21 before I'd get into it. So this is also a coin I'd like to do more research on before going too heavy on the chasing the run-up side. Just make sure there's some real application to this coin that may give it longevity and give it good fundamental reason to break past this, maybe to 30 or 40 cents. Okay, here is REP. One of our YouTube followers had this and had a huge position in it. I said, you know, start to get out of that while you can for a good profit. And then look at this. It crashed from 30 down to its last price was 25. So it's crashed $3, it's crashed almost $7 just in the last couple days. We are sitting at a $20 limit, and the low this reached in the last 24 hours was $20.10. So we almost picked this up for cheap. Let's zoom in. Wow, look at that crash. So these things have these flash crashes, and that's where we want to get filled. I'm surprised that we didn't get in there. That sucks, because we would have woken up with a 20% profit if we were just a hair higher. And there's a lot of people doing this. Look at all this volume that were just waiting for this flash crash, and there was people who got filled way down here. Those lucky dogs. So we may have missed that opportunity, but the volatility perhaps is not over. So we'll keep a close eye on this one. But it looks like we may have missed the flash crash just by being a little too conservative in our pricing. 1 hour view. This is of the Stellar. So down here is where we look for an entry to buy. Up here potentially to run to try to catch some kind of. But yeah, this is just a very bearish chart. It looks like there are some believers. This probably has some kind of fundamental long-term use, but it's just not being used yet, and all the hype and excitement has gone away. So this may be an opportunity to get in and really hold it for a long time. So I'll do more research on this one before we put any orders out on that. Okay, Monero. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So Monero had news that it may come to use. This is similar to Ripple and Dash, and it's been doing very well. It's had a recent sell-off of $13. So currently we have no orders sitting on this except for, let me zoom out. We have a very low ball order down here right above this resistance level. I may add one at this $90 level, but I'm somewhat concerned to buy it at this 130 level. So we're going to watch this carefully. I'm going to do a little more research on the fundamentals of this. If it can break past 152, this might keep skyrocketing. Otherwise, let's look for some serious flash crashes to get in on this. So I will go ahead and add one 10% position if it can crash to right in this level. Let's go with 91. Okay, so now we're looking at XRP, Ripple. I'm going to zoom in a bit on that. So we got really close to our stop limit, which, I'm sorry, it should have just been a limit. Stop limit on the downside would be for a stop loss, and then stop limit you would use on the entry side if it was to break through a price, like break through an all-time high. So we're down about 20% on this position. We're really close to that 19-cent level where I said we would double up. And again, I think Ripple is a long-term coin with great fundamentals. It's backed by Google and all the big hedge funds. It's not liked by the community due to the way it's basically the ownership of the coins is not popular, but it does have the power behind it to become a mainstream coin. So that's why I like this and have a open position. Okay, to close out the video, I'm going to go ahead and take a look over here. See if there's any breaking news that looks exciting. Here's an article, How to Find Assets Before They're Popular. We're going to start doing a little bit of that with ICOs. And tomorrow I plan to do a little review of ICOs and how to get in on those. And I do want to point out that you are on the free YouTube version of this product, most likely. And there are benefits to upgrading to the premium membership. Below the video, if you expand it, there's a link to the track record. And there's a link to this upgrade page. And so if you upgrade, you can either pay $1 for a 14-day trial that rebills $97, or you can pay $4.97 annually. And what you get with that is you get text message alerts. So instead of relying on YouTube to tell you about alert, you'll get my text messages. You'll get email alerts from our server, not just from YouTube, which includes the full text of exactly what to do, so you don't have to necessarily watch the video. We will be hosting some webinars for Q&A. And then, more importantly, there will be certain trade alerts that are not part of the free YouTube subscription. So all these mainstream cryptocurrencies and the big portfolio, that's all included free with your YouTube subscription. So don't worry about that. But if you want to start trading some small positions that have the opportunity to double our entire portfolio, I'm talking about risking 0.5 to 1% of our portfolio into very hot initial coin offerings. We're going to be following the big money just the same way we do it with the big currencies. And we're going to be using very small positions. We're going to have to wait weeks for them, possibly even months, for them to hit an exchange. But when they do, that's where people are making tremendous returns. So we may invest in 10 with 1% each in hopes that one of these will explode and double or triple our entire portfolio value. So I really recommend that if you have the cash available to upgrade to a premium membership, and you'll also get better access to me. I talk to my subscribers via text message. Each trade alert goes out with a text message where you can reply back directly to me and ask any question you want. So there you have it. Thanks for your time, and I didn't see anything too important on this Reddit channel today, so that is the end of today's update, and we will talk to you